So, without further ado, we should just get right into it and see what's changed, what's not, and see kind of what's being played the most. Kind of feel it out for ourselves. All right. So off the rip, I believe last time we did this, I put Astra at A tier. Astra since then has actually gotten a lot of nerfs. And I hear she's a lot more clunky now because her cooldown times have been increased. So she can't pop her abilities as fast. So it's made her kind of clunky and fall a little bit out of play, but still very viable. She still played a lot, but not as much as she was before. Before she was the go-to smoke. Before patch 3.0, she was the go-to smoker. So now I'm gonna say Astra's probably B. Yeah. That's honestly my take on Astra. I think she's dropped down to B, but I think she's still very, very good and very, very viable. What up, Tainted? How's it going? How you doing? Breach. Breach got buffed. But yet, I feel like Breach hasn't moved. He's still like kind of that mid-tier character. Like he got better, but I wouldn't say he goes into A tier. I think last time I put him at B tier. Because he can be quite impressive and his abilities are a lot better now. But hasn't really changed much. I don't know. So I'm just gonna put Breach at B tier because honestly I think he stayed quite the same. I don't think he's really moved. How's it going, SN? How's work been? Work's been good. Work's been good. Going quite well. Going quite well. We're just doing a Valorant tier list, so hop in and enjoy and give me your takes. Alright. Brim. Brim got nerfed. I mean, a slight nerf to his incendiary cost. I think he went up to 250 instead of 200. But he hasn't moved. He hasn't moved at all. Like he's still kind of played, kind of not. You see him played more in the EU challengers series, but not much in America. Like not much in NA. I'm gonna put Brim back. I'm gonna keep him at C. I think that's honestly where he belongs. He's not like as viable as you would like to be, but still kind of good. Um, yeah. Cypher. Cypher got a buff in the sense that his tripwires, Jet can no longer dash through them, and his ult got reduced in cost. So Viper, I mean not Viper, Cypher, I would say stays steady at A. Um, I almost want to put Cypher at S because he's such a great lurker and he does give good info, but he can also be played around. I think Cypher stays at A. He's a great lurker. He has great util, and everything about Cypher's kit is really good for holding down a site. Like he does it well. He does his job well. And he does it even better now that he had those two buffs. So I would say he stays at steady at A. Jet had some reworks to her economy with patch 3.0, specifically in the price of her cloudbursts. It went up, but and I think also her alt cost went up. But overall, Jet hasn't changed. The game has changed in the sense that economy now is more expensive. Everything's a little more expensive, but the player base, the style of game has stayed similar in the sense that now it has only just shifted to those prices. People have adapted. I would say Jet still says S absolutely because Jet is probably the go-to entry duelist. She enters like she just has like she's a great entry potential. KO, the new and improved, the new character added to Valorant himself, the robot of mass destruction, who has a vendetta against literally every agent in the game. It feels like KO's util is good. Pop Flash is really cool. Um, his grenade, like his sticky grenade, is pretty cool. It does good damage. It's decent for lineups, but most people aren't really going to use it for lineups because you only have one, like a shock dart. But it is good. You could use it for some post plant stuff. His E suppresses and gives you info. It doesn't reveal though. And so you kind of get a general idea of where they are, but you don't know exactly where they are. but they are suppressed. They can't use any util. And same thing goes for his ult. His ult, he goes rapid fire pretty much like Reyna. He can get down and revived, but and he also suppresses along the way in a very very large AOE. But would I say KU is good? Would I say KU is fit into the meta? Honestly, not so much. I'm still seeing a lot of Sova as the initiator. Some teams, especially in VCT, I've seen recently in NA, have opted for one duelist and using KO as kind of the second duelist, right? As the flash character to go in. Um, do I think KO? I don't think KO is meta. At first, it seemed like he was because everyone was playing him, but I don't think he is meta. I think his util is good. His abilities are good. I think, unfortunately, there's not a lot of creativity in his knife. Like there's not a lot of creativity in his knife. Like unlike Silva lineups, Silva darts. Um, he does get good info, and this press is very very powerful. His dart could get destroyed just like Silva and all that. His flashes are strong. I'll have to make sure not to flash your team, kind of like Skye Flash. Um, I would put KO. I would put KO at B tier. He's not S, he's not A, but he's good. He's good in the right hands. I don't think he's great. I don't know if he's going to be used to a great extent in VCT and other stuff like that in the pro scene. But for right now, I would say KO is pretty good. I would say KO is pretty good. Killjoy. Killjoy got nerfed. Killjoy got nerfed, but oddly enough, I've seen her being played. I'm seeing her being played more. I'm seeing her being played more, and there's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. I believe that teams are opting for Killjoy on certain maps, especially as like Ascent, or what else? Breeze, not so much, but some teams are on some maps, even Haven, are opting for Killjoy because some teams feel like she could anchor better on the site. It's been like a constant battle between her and Cypher. Um, she doesn't have good alert potential, I feel, but with with the team on defense, on attack, lineups, post plant lineups, because post plants is so important right now. Killjoy's getting a lot of PT. She is not on the bench. She is on the court. She is kind of like a starter. I would not say she is S tier, but I honestly say I think in the past I put KJ at B. And it's like I don't know, I kind of want to put her back at B, but it's like she's between B and A. She's this weird spot where I feel like she's like almost on Cypher's level, almost quite there, but not quite. I think honestly, I think KJ goes B. Although it's a very strong B. It's a very strong B. Omen. Okay, Omen's interesting because Omen has actually changed with this patch. His paranoia got decreased in price. I think his trash stuff went up a little bit. But overall, Omen, since Astra got nerfed, he second-handedly got buffed. He indirectly got buffed because Astra got nerfed. He actually came back into play. If you guys watched any of VCT in the past like month or so since patch 3.0 drop, you notice teams are playing Omen again. After playing Astra Viper for so long, swapping off between whatever maps are best for each one, Omen has actually come back into play to the point that I would say Omen's back at A tier. Like actually, I think Omen is back at A tier. I think he's better than Astra currently because his use is all smooth. His usage is all smooth compared to Astra right now. Is he absolutely better? No. Astra still shines brighter on some team comps, on some maps. But Omen overall, I think we're starting to see an uptick again, back to what we saw pre 3.0 when Omen was really like we're not even pre 3.0, pre Astra almost, pre Astra like being realized into meta. Omen is back to I would say where he is, and that's largely because the paranoia decreased by 100 in price. So it really makes that paranoia a little more viable to be used. So Omen definitely A tier. I think Omen also has a lot of play, like really really good playmaking. He's a good agent. He's a really good agent. Okay. Phoenix. I need to drink of water. Again, you guys watch on YouTube, like, subscribe, all that. And Twitch, I hope you guys are enjoying this tier lists are fun because we really get to, you know, feel it out, all of us together, like what's really what we think is the new meta of sorts, or the new rankings of each character, like who fits where, stuff like that. But anyway, Phoenix. I believe in the last tier list video, I put him at A. Actually, I love Phoenix. I think I personally like to play him. I think he's just a very simple but smooth and useful kit. But I'll be real, I don't think Phoenix is as good now. The price of his Kerbal went up by 50. His Flashbang went up by 50 in price, which is not that big a deal. But I was doing some research. I've been not really doing research, but I've been watching. I watched a lot of VCT. A lot. Like almost every game I could of the teams I could watch of the teams I enjoy watching. And Phoenix does not get played very much. He does not. He's not to pick on Bind. He's not to pick on Icebox. He's sometimes to pick on Haven. He's not to pick. He's not to pick on Breeze. Doesn't get played any at all on Breeze. Um, doesn't really get played on Split. And Ascent, sometimes. Phoenix really isn't all that meta. Like a lot of teams don't play him. Sentinels, for instance, is a team that I only really think I've ever seen Phoenix played by Sentinels on Haven. That's rare. That's rare. They ever do. That was kind of like a pre-tens kind of thing, or like early in when Sick would flex a duelist, So I would say Phoenix is a solid B. I don't think he gets as much playtime as he used to. I think B is a good fit for him. He's reliable. He's good, and he's always great in the right hands, as are any agents. But I don't think Phoenix is A tier anymore, to be honest. Okay, Raze. Raze had the Boombot increased in price. Her ult got increased in price as well. Overall, I think that, like I said, with Jet, the economy shifted, but sort of the players, everyone adapted to it. I think Raze still gets almost the same PT. She almost gets played just the same. It obviously depends on the map, but I would say Raze is a solid A tier. I think still. I think Raze does still stay A. She's quite good. And she just is. Reyna. Reyna didn't get much change. I don't think. I don't think Reyna changed at all. Also, that's how you doing, bro. But I don't think Reyna changed at all. To be real with you. Um, I can't think of anything that changed with Reyna. Not off the top of my head, at least. But I will say this: Reyna in the right hands is a monster. Like, if you guys watch tens, watch Sentinels, watch really a lot of teams, Reyna's a beast. Reyna can be a beast. She's hard to take down. Um, the question is now: I had her at B in the past. I do it, raise her to A tier, and I don't know, man. I've been starting to warm up to Reyna a lot. A lot of teams try her out and make a really good use of her, and it's like, holy crap, man! She's actually like, her really viable. Honestly, really viable. You see it a lot with her and Jet. That's kind of the combo, Reyna Jet. Honestly, I think Reyna gets to A tier. I really do think she meets that criteria. She's getting a lot of visibility in pro play. She's great in comp at any level. Really, Reyna is a really good character. She's easy to play, um, semi difficult to master. Definitely. You think Jet, Silva, Skye only S tiers? We'll get there. I have a take on that, especially since you mentioned Skye. Especially since you mentioned Skye. Sage. Okay, in the past I put Sage as, I think, A tier. Now the question is, do I think Sage is A tier still? Her wall got increased in price. Her slow orbs got increased in price. Her res got increased in price. But Sage still stays in dominant play in almost on most maps. Um, she's reliable in the right hands. Like Scream, she's a monster. Or Sick. I mean, she's great. I mean, Sage is a great player, a great character. Her res is amazing. Obviously, I would say honestly, I think she's. I don't know. I'm gonna bets. Or anyone in chat really. What do you guys think? Is Raze A or S? Because not Raze. I mean Sage. Is Sage A or S? Because honestly, Sage is really played around every map and is extremely viable. Her kit's still amazing. Hasn't changed. They haven't buffed or nerfed any of her kit. It's just the pricing of it with the whole economy change. I think it was just part of the patch. Um, for me personally, I don't know, man. I'm biased for Sage because I play a lot of her. I feel like Sage is kind of S tier in terms of overall like use, playability, skill ceiling, everything like utility. I think Sage might honestly be S tier nowadays. Like I really do think she is kind of goated. So I'm gonna put it there. If chat says otherwise, we can move it around. But I think Sage is S tier. I said A in the past, but I think I kind of did her dirty with that. I think she is S tier, Sage. Oh, and now actually, let me add a point. Sage is uber strong on Breeze. Sage is the Sentinel to go play on Breeze. Note KJ, okay on Breeze. Cypher, trash on Breeze. But Sage can hold down the B site with relative ease. Literally. Literally so good on Breeze B point. And you can also make her work for A point as well. But overall, she's such a good character on Breeze. I think she's S tier. I do. Okay, Skye. Skye, that said S tier. In the past, before patch 3.0, in the past, yeah, Sage looked good no matter what. Exactly, exactly. In the past, before patch 3.0, I put Skye at C tier. And that was a bad look for her. Skye did not get much play at all. But with 3.0, they changed how she's played by making it so that she could throw her flash and not have to guide it. Like you could throw it, take your gun out, and everything. And they also made her have a recharge on her flash, which I think is really really good for her. Better than having three flashes, because sometimes you can get four flashes in a really really long round. And she always starts with one flash. So I'll be honest, Skye, if you see her in VCT, she's being played a lot more. Sub Rosa is the first person that comes to mind. Sub Rosa is a monster on Skye. Skye is going to come into meta more and more, I think. I really do. She she's incredibly resourceful. I mean, her util is good. Her information gain is good. Not as good as Sova. I think Sova's always gonna be the ultimate info gain, but she really is good. I think Skye goes to A tier. I don't think she's S tier. I don't think she's S tier only because I do think Sova still remains the S tier initiator, no matter what. I think Sova still remains on top. He absolutely is the best in terms of info gain, util usage, everything. And all teams, no matter what I'm seeing in VCT, are keeping a Sova in their lineup. The only instance would be Skye on Ascent, I believe, that I'm seeing currently. But overall, Sova is staying as the initiator to go to. So that's just my opinion. I think Sova, even though his cost got increased, he has 8 ult orb charge now for his ult. His shock darts went up in price, his Algebra went up in price. I think Sova is still head honcho in the initiator department. I think Skye is a very close second. I think she's really catching up. I think she is. And that's good because I think we need to see some variation in the initiator category. I think it's really healthy for the game. Alright, Viper. In the past, I think Viper was A or S, or A or B. And it's funny because Viper had some changes. I think to her snake bite, um, it goes for less time by 1.5 seconds. I think from 8 to 6.5. Charge. I think cost went up on some of her util as well. Viper Viper is very map specific. I mean, people are playing her on Icebox and Breeze a lot. Breeze especially. She is the solo smoke. She's the smoking character made for Breeze. Feels like for 8 point especially. But overall, I've seen from what I've watched, the gameplay I've watched, she's actually gotten down in play. She kind of lost favor as Omen's now come back since Astra got nerfed, and people have kind of they're still playing Viper, but they've forgotten about her a tiny bit. Um, I do think I put Viper at B. Cause I definitely put her on par with Astra right now in terms of smoking. Um, that's how I feel about it. That's honestly how I feel about it. Um, yeah. And lastly, it's yours fucking D. No one can change my mind. Yours is trash. Yours is not good. Um, Tens played him as a meme on Bind. Played really well though. I know Shroud plays him. There's a couple of Ethos, a couple other content creators that play. Play Yoru. Yoru's a great character. I think he's designed well, but he's just not. He's not one of those characters you play all the time. I'll be honest. Just isn't. Not yet. And the only reason I leave Brim alone in C, I was considering putting KO down to C, but it's because I kind of I see the potential in KO's kit, and that's why I'm leaving him in B tier. But overall, I think this is like how things have changed. I'd say with this current patch 3.0 that we're on, um, still better options. Exactly, yeah, I agree, Bets. I agree. There are still better options for um both those heroes, yeah. But I don't know, that's my opinion on how things have changed um with this patch and going forward. I do think this represents it well. If I don't, let me know. I mean, if I got it wrong somewhere, let me know. I'm curious to see what other people think. But for now, I think this is it. This is the piece. I think this is what we got for patch 3.0 right now. Up until they release a new agent or there are some more serious nerfs, and then I'll maybe make another video, as well, and like or go over this tier list again. Think KJ goes A and it looks good. Yeah, I was kind of like on the cuff. I was debating whether I literally said KJ is really close to Cipher, but I don't know if she's quite there. I was like it's a really high B, low A. It was tough for me at least. But yeah, I could get things wrong, but let me know. Otherwise, yeah, this is good. This is done, wrapped up. Um, yeah, this is the new. I would say this is the new agent meta tier list for Valorant right now.